Baby girl, good evening, my people. How are you today? Getting good fire, my sembera, umekutaya. Kiturina, wait, you guys, do you know that this rain even has a sandstorm? Budget a sandstorm, budget a no. Oh, muzina waguita bata mu luzungu, rainstorm, hailstorm, yes, hailstorm. Mulimu ice akuba kundabira bwemba mwegendereza. This is very serious rain, yeah? So I'm thinking now March is going to be a rainy month, yeah? This is good for people. So I guess tonight, but how are you, my people? I hope you're doing well. I'm in the Mark to Musota. I'm in the Mark to Musota. Neyagara. And obviously the fact that it's raining and my windows are clear without me needing a chuero points you to the fact that her AC clear. But how are you? It's a Sunday. I'm straight from the gym, guys. Nkoze muko enkuba egenzo tandika nga ndi mu gym. Nkoze muko. Yesterday the other guy gave me a wake up call, and yeah, I'm going back now. But then I had them bangari wangambira musimanya fatigue ne bannafuya ne nafuwamu. The maximum taught me a number of lessons, guys, and I'm going to be sharing. Double tap the screen to like the broadcast, guys. Double tap the screen to like the broadcast. The maximum Sota has taught me a number of lessons, and I'm going to be sharing those lessons. Along the way, we are also going to drive on those Maram roads to Raboba that the maximum Sota said. We are going to test that theory as well. To Raboba ne serira obate serire. Yeah, that's something we're going to be testing. It's a theory we've had, and I know they are slippery, but I'm going to test it my own way. Nadigeta Sako, when I was still living in Kasanga, it was terrible. It was manual, it was powerful. Nenga waduwa manual gawanga tegalia. Ngosere zibabu kususeko. Katika nokenko rangeza ko butayisa moroka yange shafts bikibi mu mazi. Amazi ago gata ball joints, basically gata suspension. So whenever you can dodge driving in water, please do. So mama abane antumye ebintu inabigula ntya mu kuba muno banna. Inabigula. So you guys mulaba kati wansi they are working on the road. They're actually where there is a valley, they take the road back to the valley, which is a very good thing for the landowners, yeah? So the Mark Tombs has taught me a number of lessons I'm going to be sharing. I want to get somewhere that is very, very, very convenient. And this is sort of a maram, and I've not derailed off the road in any way. I've not gone off the road in any way. So ebintu bye bantu ngenda bigula ate njagala n'amayuuni naye kati bano abakazi mu nkuba tebakola abaawa. Let's proceed tugende eri gye tugula emiyembe tulala. Bano ba doodo, saagala doodo leero. Parking, dim lights. So guys, how is your Sunday? My Sunday is okay. I've been able to go to the gym. I already washed the car. But it's already cleaned up. The interior is very clean. So I find that me driving the Musota the past few days, it's like 2 days of driving the Musota every day. It has given me a number of lessons that I think some people never get a chance to learn when they still have access to their new cars. The Ractis, I will tell you, is one of the newest cars I've driven. Since November 2023, I've been driving, well, fairly new cars. Yeah, one was not from the bond, but it was fairly new. And I also drove like, I've driven like 3 from the bond straight. So 2024, I've not driven a car that is not from the bond, apart from the times that I was inspecting cars. Is the sound okay, guys? Is the sound okay, guys? From the entire 2024, and I think there is a part of reality that I hadn't yet, that I had kind of forgotten. And I think in the middle of 2024, I drove the Corolla that my brother drives, and I figured that it was actually old. Yeah, I had forgotten the fact that an old car can actually drive very well. Yeah, so I drove the Corolla. I was buying tiles, and the Corolla it's a Land Roller, which the Corolla Ruza. It's really up there, so it can take about I think 11 boxes of tiles. That's a lot, because each box of tiles is about 30 kgs. Yeah, so it tried that kilo and the Ractis can't. So I drove the Corolla from the hardware to my home, and I figured something. But then, because it was just for one journey, because when we came back to town, then I took my Ractis and he took his Corolla. And when I got this Mark II, I decided I would be driving it at least once a week. But this weekend, I decided I would drive it on Friday, I'll drive it on Saturday, and I would also drive it on Sunday, and then park it on Monday and go back to my usual Ractis. And from Friday till today, I've learned quite a few things, yeah? And I'm going to be sharing. Jones of Info VIP, yes. Yesterday, my wife was unfortunately ramped into by a border guy, which destroyed her car bumper. She tried to buy a new one in town, but the prices were very high, and I was far and busy. Well, Jones Info, your wife should introduce herself better. Your wife said, my friend has given me your number. Yes, she said, my friend has given me your number. And for me, normally when my friend has given me your number and I need help to source spares, had she told me she was your wife, maybe it would have been different, because what I told her was, tell him to call me and I will respond to him, because I know you and I did not know that person. If I had known it was your wife, that would have been totally different. And also the request was quite unclear. I want to buy spare parts. I shared here that I'll be sharing my contacts to people that have subscribed at least one of my services. Take it, not their friends. If it's your wife or husband, then it's different. But if your wife or husband calls me, guys, let it be clear. Yeah? Yeah, let it be very clear. So her introduction wasn't clear. I'm glad she was able to figure something out. But how are you? Can soke mbabuzeeko. Enkuba eweze. Chima ayeye omusajja wa crown abadde akubye owa boda. Mugirabe yo crown etahampu. Abadde akubye owa boda. Eyo crown mugiraba bane crown moroka ndalamu senga si bintu by'amafuta. Moroka yali badde evugwa Bukenya Abbey George Bob Louis Engineer Mugarula Search Events Omar Sebowa Hashim Jones Info VIP Kamukama Godwin Travel Live Vlog obviously Musota, but Mr. Arthur for Mark 2 grand Erinya every day. I see myself cruising around on Chili Sunday like this as my luxury car. I mean Travel Live Vlog Bukenya Abbey Serunjoji Mafia Samuel S. Zak How is Singapore George Senkubuge, Dero, Seruja Bernard, Dr. Kasude Matia VIP to see me Eddie, Semanda Raymond, Sally James. They ask you, Malayo. Hey, it's not common in the market. It's not very common because people just don't like it. It seems small yet big. It's not clear where it falls. Yeah, Rama Charity Organization. Good evening. So, guys, Mark Tumusotenso messages ekipa kisoka Mark Tumusota kyensomesezza that actually old cars are not that bad if you pick the right car. Old cars are not that bad. You just have to pick the car ng'ebikola by'oyagala okitegeera, right? For example, one of my conditions for a car based on where I live is the fact that the AC should be working. Why? I drive dusty roads and in the morning I drive with my kids, so I need them to get very good warmth in the morning. So if a car doesn't have working AC, so that's one condition. Condition number 2, because I live far away from the city, I need to have a car that will not break down on any day. Nga kastankuba ekisumuzo n'ensimbula nga nsimbula n'engenda neseeraliikira nti eneebaako kyefa okitegeera. And for some time, especially the fact that I inspect cars, and most of the cars that I inspect that are below 10 million, I've seen that emmotoka ezisinga ziba zitera okubaamu n'obuntu simanya kati efudde wiring, simanya kati efudde ki, omuntu aba agenda ali kakiri n'akugamba ate kati ikoze bino. I was losing a lot of hope in them, but then this car is sort of like bringing back my faith in these old cars. Nti if you pick the right car, esobola okubanga ogivuga buli woyagala nekola buli kyoyagala. Now I want to make this clear. When I bought this car, there are a number of things that I worked on, and probably let me just tell you these things so that you don't go to buy a car and then you think toina kyogenda kola ko yadde olwokuba Arthur yagambye you pick the right car. This car, when I got it, I bought it from a muzungu. Those guys abagenze with you said najigula ku muzungu, yali mu kikomera kya muzungu. It was one of his cars. I'm one of the last people that got to know about the cars. So nensanga ngenda, they have paid for them, and this Musota was remaining, and it did not have a battery, so I had to buy a battery. I bought a battery at 150k, and of course I also catered for transfer fees. What other thing did I put on this car? There was another 200,000 that I spent on making sure this car works. What was that? So in the beginning, before even driving this car, I spent 500,000 extra on it. Okay, and then I was able to start driving it, and then I did service, yeah. And then what other thing have I worked on recently? I bought plugs. I bought them from Toyota Uganda. I bought them at 130k. The bumper had scratches, the front bumper. So I also worked on the bumper. I also had the lights washed. So I also had the lights washed. Then I went to City Oil and got the lights timed properly. Like they set them to give me the optimum light. Indeed, I did work on a couple of things. That I work on there. When I bought this car from the Muzungu, emoroka jigula tiyakola transfer right away. So they asked me for 500,000 to be able to transfer this car to me. So I also paid that 500,000. Now I'm sharing this so that you understand if you're going to be buying an old car. There are things that you might have to take care of oberengo chimanyi, because inze nabikola. Another person senga yali agula emmoroka eno wali mugambye ate olibe yagulako emmoroka baagala emitwalo 5 nga atagamba ate kati aga5 gaba tegaguze emmoroka asimanyi obukoze biki. But me, I understand that there are technicalities sometimes that happen with this car. Then I think I gave brokers about 200,000. The brokers that took me to the car, I gave them 200,000. What other thing did I do? See if you know Morowoza. Yes. And guys, let me just alert you. In this rainy season, we will pick up a lot of nails. Yeah, we'll pick up a lot of nails. So be alert. So the other thing I did, I refilled the AC. It was working, but it wasn't working very well. So I got the AC guy to come and clean out the system and also top up the AC. What other thing did I work on? I think that's all. Now I just want to get the windows tinted because I don't have tint in here. It doesn't give me proper privacy, yet I like privacy. I think the engine is very healthy. Yes. Why did I buy plugs? I realized it had a little bit more. And plugs, coils, and the coils were okay. I realized plugs light is OG. So that's why I went and bought plugs from Toyota. Yeah. So basically that's what I did. So let me just buy them. Jebale. Oyina tangawuzi. Kandabeko joyina. Kwalite muzigo. Enganda kirebera yakanama. Ngosera. Naye ng'ogipima otya toyina minzaani. So mwe baggayi ndi wano mu musota yange neeyagala ogira muzungu nnyo. Kati mpayo yannya si ye haafu. Kandaye bw'opima haafu. Katulabe. Kale ogenda kumpa ne watermelon. Anyina mutwalo. Kati mpeza akakaga bbiri nga ziwooma. Because we cannot eat like one big watermelon at once, so it's better that I take one. I'll halfway with it. Ogenda kumpa ne nimo oyina Nimo satu tano sasanku. Yes, sebo nkuweza nya. Mpaza nya. Nga nene. Kale. Tano nya kabere mpewo beka kutesimanyi. Ebuya kawana zele sala. Are you sure? Ebadde nyingi nyo bwetyo. Stella, Dr. Kasule Matia, nze tugenda kugula Mark 2 Grand this week. Naye AC is a must. Ebisigadde ojja bimala naye AC must be work. Era Mark 2 Grand. Bane waliwo abantu bano nga basatu bangamba balina Mark 2 Grand zibatunda. This is the time for you to inbox me tujje tuzirabe. This is the time for you to inbox me tujje tulabe Mark 2 Grand abantu aba tuzigula. Kama charity organization, good evening. Stalon BK, Yusuf Minaj, but in the same number. Karim, Kasule Ramadan. I need SPK. Kasule, you inbox me on WhatsApp on when number SPK. Paul Sema VIP Oli. SPK driving school will share your phone number. Someone wants it. But if it doesn't share Kasule, you inbox me on WhatsApp. I'm going to share SPK driving school's number. Eno ya meka, ya kakaga. Jimpenze njisule wano. Eyemu. Naye kutogikonyeeko sinaye bw'ogikona. Ogimanyi bumanya? Eno ng'atono kwenu.
Eriyo yandibe isizaamu ku bbeeyi.
Kale. Kati notanga wuzi zokka n'enniimu. Kati mpa n'ennyaanya. Mpe zitayengedde nyanti. Oba okola mixture. Ezo 5 kasero ke kali wake 5. Ati ndaba bwe bonna 5. Kati kola mixture mutwalo naye kola nga mulimu ezitayengedde nnyo. Kyotayina bwe butunda. Atogenda kumpa ne garlic. Mulaba bwe tugula ebintu bwe tutyo. Kati olaba bino ebintu byengula bya week number. Kati of course watermelon ngenda kuba kijuisi wano. Nzize nyongerewo mu maso. I don't know how to buy pineapple. Pumpkins. Mama Abani yayegulira pumpkins. Naye wano weziri nyingi. But I think I can buy Irish as well. Kati ezo mmeka? Ogumutwalo kati obumonde.
Buba bwa mtwala akasera ako kolengera.
Kaliwa.
Ako. Bakale.
Gakatone. Mukadde. Ogabake nyongeza. Ne lidako mukadde nganda bwo mulingo obuvunzo obumonde.
Nyange kasana abade kamukuba.
Nonderayo obunyirira mu okusinga kaawo.
Akasana. Obade kamukuba.
Wabo onompa obutajire mukaza ajja kungamba sidda gula wano. Kati mpo bulungi ennyo. Yesha Eden Farm kyekiriwo. Nali jikuguzeeko. After you're driving my first car na yechibi, I'm not in Uganda right now. Ojagula zibayo no Mactum Sota nyingi mwe bagayi. Mactum Sota, you cannot see me properly. Ateze nera babulungi you guys. I think it's the network because it's raining. Kati buno bumonde.
Nyanya bajjazinyiga bana.
Take out.
Nyanya zinkalu obumonde busobola okubaatu. Naye kabu nyanya kazitulunga.
Kati gali kitompadde. Kamu gali kitumulya sibi ebyolowooza. Akasujusi. Kasujuje je kali kangi.
Obutungulu.
Payo watano. Nzirugaza motoka mwe bagayi. Nzirugaza motoka. So mbadde nkyabagamba what the market has taught me. You can actually get an old car at a small budget, okitegeera and still nesigala ng'ekola by'oyagala. In a motoka, remember I parked it for like 2 weeks since the last time I drove it. And it starts like, because I bought a new battery, obviously it should be able to start. Etandika bulungi nnyo. It starts like a charm. And the AC works like a charm. The electronics work like a charm. Okujjako amatala genda sanga omuzungu obanyibwa basatambula bisana.
Chawe chiseyo mboga ebiri emboga cabbage.
Kale mpaayo impulse shopping. Mujirayo impulse shopping. Ati naye taking advantage. Kati wano sina ona pen nali mubaza ayinza okumbala omufuulu. Naye bintu bye bya rais emboga y'N2,200 senga mujiraba mu bantu mukagirete njibalage ekole mikopo electronics away from here. Kambalage emboga y'N2,200. Zindaba nene. Of course, like I rarely shop cabbages. This is 2K.
Kiramu.
Kati balamu.
Akati
gumu 2
ne 2 gumu 4. Zino 5 gumu 9.
Ndindako gumu 2 n'ennyanya ebiri 2. Kubenya ezadde za mutwalo sikyo?
Ebiri 2. N'obumode bwa mutwalo.
3 2.
Ne bino bya kaka byanyanya. Bino bya kanana mulimu entaka.
Emitwalo 4.
Gumu eyotyo.
Emitwalo
4. Gumu 2, 3, 4. Ne zino 2.
Ezo tuzibaze.
Tunaba twakoze gumu 2 2. Muno mulimu nusu kanana. Mulimu kanaka 3. Mulimu ne buli obwe 5.
Kanana ze sente meka naye ziweza.
Kibadde na meka? Ena 2.
Simanyi oba sente zonziweza. Tugenda kuddamu tubale.
Ebiri, esatu.
Mulaba ffenna Martha atusumbuwa. Lindako mukadde tuddeyo.
Akati olaba, muno mulimu akanaana, ne zino bbiri. Ogwo nagwo mutwalo, ne guno omutwalo.
Ezijja ebiri.
Ne zino gumu bbiri.
Esatu bbiri.
Ne guno omutwalo.
Ena bbiri.
Muno mulimu akanaana.
Akanaana kugesinategeera ako.
Entangawuzi zannya n'ennimu zannya biri muno.
Akanaana ate muno mulimu ki obutungulu bwa ttaano.
Obutungulu bwa ttaano ne
katuddemu tubale. Akanaana tukategedde gugumu kakaaga.
Ehe. Zino bikola omutwalo kanaana bbiri mutwalo. Ebiri. Esatu bbiri. Ena kanaana. Yebiziita.
Simanyi oba gwe weddye oba nze neddye.
Tewali katyabye munne.
Zijjeeko.
Ena kanaana.
Kati bazzukulu bo bawaddeyo ki kye mbatwalira. Naye mukadde muwagidde. Wabula bambi. Let them inbox you earlier because mpulira gye njagala. Though we shall talk. Anti bakumanyi bulungi bwe bateyita. Tetugigula tetusobola okuvuga speed anyway. I love supporting all this because me too, I buy those things. Wait, do you know why I like buying from, like, she's one lady, I walk okubo yeka. Bali ababeera abanje nnyo, they come and crowd yoka. Tebeero ndako go supportinga. Kati abo bamenyamu kati wano mbuzayo miyembe jokka. I think bantu mwe baramu bw'obooli live neyanziza manda naganonyeyo finally. Kyekimu ku kyanvuza mu sota nagivuga ku Friday, ku Saturday ku makya ne ngajjayo. Agamba kanika yagatutte yesterday. Nanga agange ne gatuuka ekiro okitegeera. Yeah, but mwe mubala ani abbye munne Joshua. Nze nzibye mukadde oba mukadde yanzibye okadde abadde ba Abani ekikajjo muba bali ekikajjo. Ne yanziza. Abani simanyi oba bali ekikajjo naye mukadde yaba wadde ekikajjo. Yamanyi kibali muwa.
Bali ekikajjo banaakigana.
Tweyanziza nnyo. Era bajja gakuula. Ne yanziza nnyo mukadde. Kale mbere bulungi. Musota ne mutandika. So mwe bagayi mbadde nkyabagamba nti of course mujja kunkwata police mugaye atha musota gwo kuvuga anti gwo tegukaaba musiku wotagusiba enoteka aba practice ye kaaba titi bwe kala batosi paka bwo gusiba katubuzayo miyembe. So I actually don't even need the AC now. Ateno teri babbi ba masimu. So I can actually open my windows. There is no dust, there is no babbi ba masimu. So katubuzayo gula mangoes, and the mangoes are way ahead. So okujja kaabe bisoto bo bajja bingu bakanzigalewo. Emiyembe sajigwa kiche nnyino gula kyesiguze. Kiche nnyino gula kyesiguze watermelon njiguze. Naye amazzi go mugalaye gasazeeko aba akatale. I think I would have bought amazzi go gabasazeeko. Nemwe jengendo okuyita olwayo mugenda kulabayo. I want to see if the musota will actually kusiripira liri will lose traction there. Neme pira giriko minene enjola nene. So I have been able to learn that nemoroke nkadde zino you can actually get a car that is good. Tekubagana tekola chi okitegeera. It's good. But the other thing that I've learned is that for the guys that are driving new cars now, yeah, it's important for you to be ready to downsize at any one moment. So it's a good thing every now and then. For you to understand what it will feel like to drive an old car. Like right now, I think I've not only been able to remember that I can adjust, but I've also reminded Mama Aban that any time from now, if we have to adjust and go to an older car, we can actually go back to an older car and not even feel the impact of that. Which that's probably Starbucks mujirabye cheyekola kati bantumye emiyembe n'enganda babe emiyembe batono nnyo leero katulabe kuono. Ndabi lwaki amazzi gabasazeeko. Yebale nyabo. Nyembe jammeka. buno wewe ttaano buno njagala ejo omuntu anesagala kigenda kwengera ncha njagala nga gwaliwo ogenda kwengera ncha munagwala akubiri munagwala akusatu munagwala akuna like that. I sat in a Crown that has 200k miles and revved the engine, but I could hardly hear it from the inside. The comfort, it's pure. Mwe bagay Crown ate yo mujireke. No mutwalo jangu nago. The Crown is something else. The Toyota Crown is something else. Those cars are padded. They have very mwe no mulabe. Bali abantu enkube ebasulidde ebintu. Awo. Oyabadde kibuyago yakoze ekyo. Mubaddemu omuzira, mubaddemu kibuyaga, so kibuyaga kyabakoze ekyo. Oleso omutwalo. Naye bwejengera nnyo era kudda tuyombe. Kale neyanza. Derek Lule, good evening. Muyombya Mark, good evening. Omukadde mukubi wa luseke naye nange mukubi oluseke gwatolooza abeewa kaba nategeera nti ekikajjo siguze kibule bajja gamba daddy nga ayiya, he has brought us sugarcane, emiyembe girabika nno giweddeyo obudala bwonna bwabangako emiyembe naye kati tekukyali bubule kimubuulira bwobukoono bwomumaaso. So this is your Mark Tumusota tuli buliri rap naye mugiwulira nayo bwesirika. Yeah, so the other thing that I've adjusted, Mama Abani adjusting the mark. Of course, the Subaru yotagisobola. Subaru yangambe sigiza. But she's okay with the Mark II. Even yesterday, she even drove the Mark II for like 1 kilometer. And she said it's too long. I think because it's too long, she even feels it's too heavy. But the Mark II is actually okay. But for her, she said the car is too heavy. She cannot mutagisobola mbwezito wanyo. And those ladies never went to school, Bambi. You can't beat them in calculation. You can't beat them in calculation. I'm always proud of those ladies. Because you see that lady, so musanga batabani be never walabe. Bamusulira abana. Bayarabirira bazukulu be bonna. They don't even bring help. Ngakumudala ako kwakolera buli kimu. Kasenya Yasin, good evening. So, one way for us to adjust our women, okubalaga, it's actually possible, especially if, of course, I've driven in older cars with Mama Aban. But the week that I brought this car, she actually did. She had no problem sitting in and driving, but bumper had scratches. For a very long time, she has not been sitting in a car that has even a scratch. For a year, abada turamoro kampia. Ngatunulwa kumoro kampia waka. Moro kampia bwenzijo muno nebera moro kampia. So she's used to that. So when I got this car and scratches, she reacted like all the ladies react. And even when we go to inspect cars, I've seen how ladies react to cars that have a bit of body work to be done. I've realized that even gentlemen, by reacting about your body, I'm yet to make you guys understand that sometimes you can buy a car, but it doesn't make it a bad car. I think it's one thing that I have to teach you guys. That sometimes ojagule moroko gisale milioni emobe mu kitundu ogendo ofuwe moroko emitwala 5 obengo oyite bidala byonna kasita byanga bikola olumo gisale nga the thing that is not good is the interior nengo kirabi kyosobola okukola. You guys want to buy new cars. That's the one thing I think ono wenchambira naika ngende nchuke wali njada ko wali talk naye abantu beno bo balekati balina matoke. Let me turn from here. So we have gotten some rain in Matuga. I think it was a lot mubadde mu omuzira. Okay. Ganagazi ngenda gaita mutya. So since the heat spell is over, wait, mama bana ina chantu nichimunga chendabiwa. Guy, mubale kumoroka katono nyonyo. Yeah, you can understand. I woke up in it good. I don't know why, but I'm feeling so good. Like I want to roll. I'm not going up at least shot today. We like yes, it's out today. I make her smile, I make her laugh. I make her dance, I make her wine. Feel like getting down to me, God. Feel like touching down to me, God. I'll make you want to make you want to make you want to. I'll make you smile. I'll make you dance. After the night, I'll take you to my place where we play. Bobby home play. Yeah. Feeling good. Jump. Feeling good. Kale, guys, nkomyewo. Ai, Dorothy. Dorothy. Like ajina kasoma wa morokayo. Yes, Sunday. It has rained today. Mulagai katika tugende mukubwa lya feri serida mulabe maka bwetambula. Abali babagamba nti eserida kubanze ngenda mukubwa lya kyalo. Kanvireko wano guli ogunya simanyi how deep it is. Bye baba. Bye. So you guys, dinekuwa mujukiranga balirima ne bayite wafe. Batugamba mu chorus ajja, but I'm not sure when the chorus is coming. Oba mwigumagala mu luzungu okuyita tamak, yeah? I'm not sure when it's coming. So I learned that we can actually adjust how our women think about cars by once in a while driving them in old cars or letting them drive old cars. So that tebamanyira nnyo kipya kuba olumu kigaana kali akayumba kagudde ekibuyaga nalabika abadde mungi. So we can actually adjust how we think, how our people think, because my kids love the Mark II this Mark II more than they love the Raptors. I don't know, maybe because it's strange. It looks exotic, yeah, but it's quite smaller in the rear, smaller than the Raptors. You know, the Raptors kind of SUV, yet this is strictly saloon, yeah. And then when they start in, asked me, Daddy, how many cars do you have? And I told him I have many, depending on the occasion. And is this the fourth one? And I said, yeah. Of course, one of the reasons why I make sure I drive multiple vehicles is the school where my son goes. Abana babaletera mu Land Cruiser. Okitegeera. Babaletera mu Land Cruiser najja nakunyumiza simanyi omwana bamuletedde mu motoka. I think because he doesn't know, when the kid is dropped in a sports car, because they are bit in sports cars, okitegeera. So I find I cannot cope up those people, but I can change cars. I have access to that. At least I can change. So very soon I'm going to be testing. I think it's a Subaru Legacy. I will drive him in a Legacy. So that's because abana bajerega abana babagagga bajerega. So he needs to be able to understand that, okay, daddy taina Lamborghini na yaine motoka nyingi kala abragingire ku ekyo. I remember in high school when some of the guys whose dads came in cars ngane motoka sizabwe bambi ngafete tumanyi naye nga the sense of self-worth that kid has, because majority of the things that kids grow up with are literally lies. They are lied to about the tooth fairy, they lied to about heaven and hell. Kano kafani kwekali. Finally I found the fan, and and it was hiding in this car. There's a compartment where it was hiding. So majority of the things that the kids grow up with are lies. Ujaba ne moroka bina mtabano kaberenga achimanto in a ton, which is still okay. Surprisingly, this road was done very well. Amazigage ebitoke no bigudde mwe bagayi. Let me show you. The rain has rained cats and dogs. Ebitoke bigwiridde ddala. Obiraba. Yadde y'amaanyi etonye ndi mu gym, and you would actually think it would be very easy for you to think that tetonye oba etandika butanzi, because I imagine that when it started raining nze nadde manyi, because kibuyaga mulidde ng'ebibaati ku kizimbe ekiri mu gym bikubagana, naye nga simanyi nti enkuba eno etonye nnyo eweze. Kati abalimi bagenda kufunamu, of course naffe abalembeka amazzi tugenda kufunamu. So yeah, what other thing have I learned from Miss Mark II? I have learned that it's actually, especially the guys, we people that drive long distances, it's a good thing to have a second car. Like, it's a good thing for you to rest the car you drive every day. Like, if the practice had a rest of 24 hours, it would be also good for it. Then of course the practice gives me very good mileage, better than the Mark II. So the Mark II is a once in a week driver, because I do 100 kilometers, but the practice is an everyday car. So for the guys that are scared of either buying a Mark X, Mark II Grand, or Mark II, or any rear wheel drive car, do you have roads that are worse than this where you live? Then maybe you should shift. That's the thing maybe that we should think about. But I can't bagenda kole kuno. Bachi bajebi ne bitaka kagenda teka mu emidumu mu myala gino. Bazewe ttaka batukolere tamaka. If they do that, it would be a very good thing for us for ababeere mu kyalo. Kitegeera. So now this is a wetland, obviously, and this is why these guys bakubira ya matafali. You have been here, the guys that have been following. Network ambinyo. So many people have complained about the network as well. Mr. Arthur, by the time I have kids, they will ask to be picked in Brabus. Nja musime ngolo. Ajatula musiento balori such events. Ekasanga telling Kuba Dorothy. Munange ne tonye ate weze. Starch, let me tell you. Me, I find that as I was growing up, I would actually not care what car my grandmother comes in to visit me. If she had just come in a car. I would feel very proud, because you're making the effort. It's like, you know how you take your girlfriend to a fancy restaurant, and then afterwards you go back to your small apartment. She knows the fancy restaurant is not yours, but she just wants to go to a fancy restaurant. So Aban actually also asked me a few days ago, he wants to go and eat in a hotel. So what he meant was the restaurant. Like, we went to a fancy restaurant. Was it Boxing Day? So he wants to go back. I have to get a day and take them again to eat out. Or say they know it's not theirs, but they enjoy it either way. So I find Stacho Mwana Tomusima Ngengoro. Wanagamba Brabus, tell him I cannot afford the Brabus, but this is what we can afford. Then one time surprise him, pick him up in a crown, and then tell them this crown is better than the Brabus. Which that's probably something that kids can understand. Yeah, me have realized my kids adjust faster than me. Me, I don't adjust as fast as they do. Embeera bwe nsarako enyiga nnyo okusinga batabani bange. maybe because my kids are shielded from the situation by me and their mother, but they don't. So the other thing that this Mark II has taught me is that there are people that should be buying 1.5 liters. Of course, they are expensive, but if you want to buy a car and you don't have enough income, don't go for a Mark II Musota, especially if you drive long distance. Like if you drive short distances, there are people that you live in Tinda, you work in Koto. There you can even drive a Mark X, you'll never even feel the fuel. Because 10K can take you from Koto to Chisasi and back. Right? That's okay. In whatever car you drive, you can use 10K. But if you're going to be driving long distances, the guys that have already built in Gayaza, you have built on Hoima Road, Kachiri, where you guys should be buying either a 1.5 liter vehicle or a 1.8 liter. Don't go 2000 cc. Don't go to the newer, and even when you go to the Wish, don't go to a 2 liter Wish. Yeah, go to the 1.8 liter Wish. Buy a Rumion, and actually right now, like I've been telling you, I suggest you buy Valvematic if you can afford. Which take it a Valvematic 1.8 liter and younger 1.5 liter VVTI. Which take it. So buy Valvematic, especially if you have money. However, if you don't have money, I understand that sometimes when you're collecting money for buying a car, sometimes can be daunting. It's daunting. It can be a daunting task. You collect 10 million, then you get some issues, then you use it. You collect 12 million, you get an issue, and then you use the car money. And that's the case with literally everyone that I've inspected the car for. So under circumstances like that, you buy yourself a 2 liter and drive it. Because a person that has a car can very easily get a car. Nayo omuntu atayina moroka okufuna moroka ate kizibu okisegeera nti sente ze moroka zigwawo. It has never happened to me. Like I started looking for a car with 9 million. Before I knew it, I had 6. Before I knew it, I had 5. And at that time, you can arrive moroka million coming and nunji nyonyonyo nezire mabega nyonyonyo simply because I thought omanyi buli woberango nonye moroka all the time. You be there thinking I can get something better. You be there thinking I can get something better. So the fact is, when you're looking for a car, don't overlook. Don't overlook for a car. You might overlook. So kati wano wendi ndikala matendo. Mutala okuli amakago omwami Kisenyi. A long time ago, one of my relatives. A long time ago, one of my relatives, yangambanga yambuza kati obeera wa nimugamba oli ludda nimugamba ndi wange wakanangamba toddamu kukyogera ekyo toli wuwo oli mu nyumba ya landlord yo until you build. And when I built my house, first house in Kangati, when I called him nimugamba ndi wange kati sebo aseka nimugamba ojjukira bwangamba nti sidda mugamba nti ndi wange paka nga nsimbye wange mukama kati ankwatiddeko. And yeah. So anyway, guys, Kamba Sibuli, thank you very much for being part of the broadcast. But the point I was making before the network cut us off, I was making the point of, if you have a small money right now, instead of keeping eating the money, buy a good car in your budget at that price. Yeah. As you wait to make the money that can buy the car you want. Buli bw'onoolinda oyinza obutatuuka w'oyagala. Ate even the problems that come in the middle there nabyo bingi. Okitegeera. I've seen people that got accidents, unfortunately, as they were waiting to buy cars. Ate sene sandiko mujjanjaba. Ate mu kaseera we yali badde yeetaagira ennyo emmoloka. Okitegeera, you can buy the car you want. Like me, okutambuza ebigere nvuga Mark II Musota. Actually, in okutambuza ebigere, I would rather drive a Chibina or a Chikumi. Of course, there are cars that I would not drive. Kachikumi kumi sikagala. I don't like the Corsa. I would not drive those cars. I would not drive a Raum old model. You get, and because of the situation because of the condition that forces you to buy those cars, I would not also drive any other brand apart from Toyota. Majority of the time, the people that are buying the Chivinas, Chikumis don't have money. It's the only reason they are buying those cars. They're not buying those cars because they have a lot of money. They're buying those cars because they don't have money. Now, the biggest blunder you could ever make is buy a Volkswagen, a Mercedes-Benz, a Nissan, a Mazda, a Mitsubishi when you're going through a tough time. When you're going through a tough time, that's the time to buy a Toyota. You get, that's the time. My practice gives me between 14.5 to 15 kilometers per liter with Excelium. That's very good. Surprisingly, I've just passed by those small cars here. But they are just outdated here. If you don't care about taxes, Burundi, bakasaba kwa documents, kalonde yo, okalete wanosasule solo shipping na musoro. Council party kasiko Joshua. In there we are almost becoming burnt off at a it's hot. (14.5 to 15 kilometers per liter). That's good. Do you drive AC or not? That's something else to consider. Because when you do AC, it will give you between 12 to 13 there. That's very good. Your practice is also what engine is in there. So anyway, guys, the point I'm trying to make now, the point I'm trying to make is bobo in a million kumi. Because making 20 million might actually be hard. Why don't you buy a car of 8 or 9? Use the 1 million or 2 million to make it a little bit better for you to drive as you wait to actually have the 20 million to buy the car you want. Which together. So that's something because it cannot be that bad. Mark 2 yang a million monana, but it's good. It's something I can bear. Which together. I saw someone that commented my Mark 2 picture 4 million. Hey, assassin. Akataleke moro kankamanyi mubuza abantu benkoledeko inspection. Abantu benkoledeko inspection, for them they would tell you akataleke moro kakalalamu bojja mukatale biba biralamu bobeereyo nga you're just looking at pictures. You can actually say moro kajigula sente bweziti yanjigula sente bweziti. It's in the images on Gigi, on TikTok, on Facebook. It's quite easy, but when you come to the brand, it's quite different. So Guaina million kumia. I find that Uganda is very dangerous for us young people, and one way for you to mitigate the dangers that kill us most, border accidents, nothing more. And you find someone taking a border from Mukono to Kampala, that's dangerous. You find someone taking a border from Bulenga to Kampala, someone taking a border from Matuga to Kampala, Kasanga to Kampala, that's very dangerous. And yes, you guys normally say, especially the religious guys, they normally say, if it's your time, it's your time. Yeah, but I believe that God gave us free will. I understand that God gave us free will, and we can decide what to do. We can actually keep ourselves a little bit alive a little bit longer by the choices we make. And in 2025 is to buy yourself a car. It might take your brain power. And like in the weekly roundup, for the guys that watch the weekly roundup, you saw how border was trying to cross the railway before the train, and they ended up dying. 2 border accidents actually. Border guys trying to cross the railway before the train, and that's a disaster. Have control. Border is the one that is deciding for you. Yeah, Personally, I don't like to take border because border someone seems to be in control, but they are really never in control. So I find that the biggest lesson that I've learned in the Mark II is that, well, downgrading a car might actually not be such a bad thing if you actually just pick the right car. You can downgrade, like you can go from my 20-something million Raktis and then come back to the Mark II Musota of 8 million and still be happy with it. You just have to pick the right car. Which together. So for the guys that are collecting money, I don't think you actually have to do that. That I've learned by driving this Mark II, because I drive it at night, I drive it in the morning, I drive it whenever I want. The only issue that I still have is that Mama Aban thinks it's long for her. But of course, if she was stuck with this car, she would definitely drive it. Because yesterday, she drove it for at least a kilometer and then she said it was heavy. I think it's in her mind. It's in her Banange Math Academy Friday. Evening I guys Kamba simply. But of course the Mark II is also humbling. It's a humbling experience, guys. It's humbling. The way people look at you when you're driving a Mark II from my workplace where I left my Raktis, especially the people that don't know that you have packed the Raktis, they is that people give you, it can humble you to the place where you live. Because remember, someone sees you, it's a humbling experience. The good day. And that's comments like that are comments that you can never be ready for. For people to look at you and sometimes or you're actually in that position, you actually know how to handle it in case you get in that position. And I think that car traders have that we don't have. Traders drive all sorts of cars. They know Musanga, I've got Land Cruiser and Pia. Then tomorrow you find him driving a Mark II. The next day you find him driving a Corsa, and they have adjusted. Like people just know them. You know what guy we are choosing Moroka. I like I name Moroka Nyingi. So for them, it never crosses their mind that, oh, people are talking like this. But for us that are not used, it kind of hits deep when people are China worker and that, yeah. So it's a humbling experience, but it's also something that some of you guys should experience. Once in a while, if you have a friend of yours for like 2 days or 3 days, give him your new car or give her your new car, take their old car, drive it home, see how your kids look. They talk to you. It can be a very humbling experience. You get it can be a very. I think I had learned how to adjust because I literally drove worse cars. This car is in very good condition, which again, and I think I've experienced that. But where I live, people sort of mind their own business, but I've also seen it. It still comes like at my workplace. I tell you, chidalamu. Waliwo abasajja abatalina byakola nga babeera bakulaba gundi yakoza atya gundi oli yakoza atya gundi oli yakoza atya, so it happens. So guys, amasibule enkuba ekomyeyo nga sinnagula ttooke. So guys, kambasibule mwebale nnyo kubeera ku broadcast. Mukenya Abi, George Bob, Louis, Engineer Mugarura, Starch Events, Umar Seboa, Hashim, Johnson Fokamuka, Omen, Travel Life Dog, Mukenya Abi, Seunjeji Mathias, Samuel Esak, Jones Info VIP, George Senkubuge, The Raw, Seru Nad, Dr. Kasule Matia VIP, Tusime Eddie, Senator Sadi James, Rama Charity Organization, Salon BK Yusuf Minaj, Karim, Joshua Eden Farm, Engineer Mugarura, Derek Lule, Uyombia Mark, Kasenya Yasin, Asiku Keith, Mulindwa Gonzaga, Dorothy Nanfuka, Nakate Christine, Moses Mo, Modope Joshua, Kaso Patrick Asiku, Salongo Nsuka, Aijuka Blair, Nsanji. Guys, I wish you a very lovely day. I'll see you tomorrow. Majesty Inspection is one thing that keeps us going. And don't forget, in August, the last weekend of August, mark the dates. Remember what happens then. The good Lord bless you. Ciao.